Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Paper Crafting Saturday. I'm Leslie Watkins. Let me get straightened out here a little bit. Today I thought I would try the Calming Camellia stamp set. This is a distinctive stamp set, meaning that when you use the stamp, you have various tones that come out with the image, which means that in this case, this design has a darker sort of vignette around the image. So we can do something that resembles a sort of a tonal painting or a tonal print. So that's what I'm going to do today. I have, before I show you that, I want to show you where you can get this stamp set. So the Calming Camellia stamp set is one of the items that is featured in the Celebration catalog. And all of the things that are in here are available for free with different orders. So for instance, this set is free with a $50 order. These are both free with $50 orders. Here's one that is a combination of a stamp set and papers that's available with a $100 order. And all the way in the back of the brochure is this Calming Camellia set, which is a free host set. And what that means is that you can get this for a $300 order. And one of the ways that you can earn an order worth $300 is by sharing a stamp party with your friends. So if enough people in the group combine their orders and it equals $300 or more, you'll be able to get this set as a hostess. So I have a piece of crumb cake cardstock that I've already cut out. I'm going to make a little box here. But to save time, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I'm going to use this stamp. So I'm using Tone on Tone. This is crumb cake ink, which matches the paper. And I'm just going to get this inked up like so. This is a larger stamp. And then let me see which is the top of my box. So this is the top of the box. So I'm going to flip this around. I think that'll be easiest because I want my floral design to be on the top of the lid. So I'm just going to stamp this like so. So you can see that beautiful image is going to be on the top of the lid here. And then I'm just going to flip this around and I'm going to do the same thing this way. There we go. So there's my image, and I'll give you a close-up of that in just a minute. Let me clear the surface off here a bit. So that's what it looks like. You can see it's really pretty image. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of my white ink and a little bit of my early espresso. So I'm just going to grab those. So here we go. I've got early espresso and I've got white. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my ink pad and I'm just going to put a couple of drops of white ink on the lid. I don't need much, that's plenty. Just a tiny drop. And I already have a little bit of ink in my early espresso, so I think that's probably going to be enough. So I'm just going to use the white ink first. I have a blender pen here. I'm going to pick up some of that ink on the tip of my pen, and I'm just going to put a little bit of this white tone on the flowers to help give them a little more dimension. And I'll give you a close-up of this in just a minute. Alright, so you can see with just a couple of strokes, you can begin to really pull these flower petals out. I'm just going to go around to all of these places. A little bit on the leaf. Doesn't take much, just a few touches, and you can see that this image becomes a lot more dimensional. And what I mean by that is that it looks like it has a lot more form. And if you're interested in learning more about how to establish form with painting and drawing, you can go to my website and subscribe to Notes, and I will send you information about different classes and workshops that I have coming up that may be of interest to you. Now, this Calming Camellia stamp set is available only until February 28th, only during this special event called Celebration. And if you're interested in learning more about that, I will post all the links below after the video. But if you want to check it out ahead of time, just go to my website at dandelioncottagedesign.com, and if you look under Join, you will find some information about the celebration and about the different deals that are available right now. So there's a lot of other information on there as well. If you go into the tab that says Shop, it will bring you to my online store, and you can learn more about it there as well. So there's several different places that you can look. So just go to dandelioncottagedesign.com, sign up for Notes, and I will deliver all this information directly into your mailbox. All right, so there is, let me zoom you in. There's my first pass with the white. But now what I want to do is I want to go back in and I want to pick out some areas to make them a little brighter. So I'm just going to start to layer up my white ink so that I have different values. Okay, so different places are a little bit brighter than others where the light is catching. And these blender pens are very interesting. They have a kind of an alcohol solution. I think there might be a little bit of glycerin in there. And what they do is they allow you to moisten the ink temporarily so that it also dries very quickly and it doesn't disturb the surface of the paper. So they're very nice to have on hand. There are two tips. There's a finer tip and a broader tip. So that's great for getting into some of these little tiny places. And you can use them with all of your reinkers. Any of the reinkers that are water-based. And you know, maybe because there's alcohol in them, I mean, I haven't tried this myself, but it might be possible that you could do something using the blenders. That might be an interesting experiment to see if it works with that. But in any event, I know that you can get a really beautiful result by working with them just like this. Alright, so I think I'm just about done with the white here. A couple little places in this leaf, in the stem. There we go. Take a look at that. Pretty good. The white does soak into the paper a little bit, so it does dry a little bit lighter than when you first put it down. But I think that's good for now. So the next thing I want to do is I'm just going to take a piece of scrap paper and I'm just going to rub my marker or my blender on the paper just to remove the excess pigment. And now I'm going to get out my darker color. This is the early espresso. And I'm just going to pick up some of that. I'm just going to add a few dark accents here and there. And while I'm working, I'm going to use the picture of the stamp on the cover as reference. So I can just make sure that I'm finding all those places where I want to increase the tonality. So I'm just following the movement of light as I go around these flower forms, and being careful to keep my darks in the shadow areas. And keep them unified. And I'll do the same over here. There we go. I suppose I should check to make sure that I am live here. Let me see if anybody's out there. Okay, I'm live, and yes, there's a few people out there. Hi, Peggy, Lawana, Kelly, Vicky. Good morning, everybody. So Vicky says she's been playing with the stamp set. Show us what you've done with it, Vicky. Post your pictures in the comments so we can see. Always love to see what everybody's doing. And we can all be inspired by one another. Okay, so a few more places in here. Just to pull out some of these leaves and the stems. Got a little chiaroscuro going here, which is just the way of saying play between light and shade. And the secret to this is understanding the movement of light. So for those of you who have a fine art background, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. This is one of the very basic fundamentals of art, and it will certainly help you in this kind of a rendering of light and shade. So there we go. I think that looks pretty good for now. I'm going to add just a couple of dots more of the early espresso because I think that's sinking into the paper a little bit too. So I just want to get that nice rich color back again. There we go. All right, I think that's enough for now. So I want to just assemble my box, and before I put my marker away, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. Just wipe off any extra ink that may be on the tip of the blender pen. The blender pens are great. I think they come in a package of 2, and they're very inexpensive, and they are really great for these quick and easy painting with the ink on cardstock. So there's my little cover. And I wonder, I'm gonna check this out. I've got my Wink of Stella here. Let's see what that does. A little bit. All right, I'm just gonna add a few sparkles here and there. Maybe to the centers of the flowers. Give it a little extra sparkle. I don't think you can see that on camera, but it's very subtle. All right, I'm going to get my bone folder and begin assembling my box. I just want to get all these creases. And then these side pieces are going to make a little V-fold. Oops, sorry, off camera. Just giving those a nice little crease. There we go. And then the glue is going to go on these tabs. So I'll do these two opposite ones first. Just hold that in place gently to make a nice corner. And make sure that lines up nicely, and then give that a burnish. And then exactly the same thing with these other two tabs. Get those in there. Hold that for just a moment with the glue set. Whoops. There we go. Make sure this one's in the right place. Gonna give that a good burnish. It's not dry yet. Now, just to reinforce the front edge of this box, I'm going to go ahead and glue this down as well. Just tuck that in, hold that. Okay, so there's my little box, and I have here a roll of linen thread, And I'm just going to take the end and I'm going to thread that through this little hole on the side of the box like so, and then close this up. And there's my little thread box. Okay, so I can pull as much of my linen thread out as I need, and this little box is going to keep it all in one place. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that gave you some ideas on how to enhance the Calming Camellia stamp set. It's a really pretty set. It's got a lot of wonderful sentiments. It's got happy birthday, lovely you, you make me smile, and others. It's a great set, and it's for free. You can only get it by spending $300 on an order of fine paper crafting supplies, and then you'll be eligible to get this beautiful stamp set as well. So I hope that gave you some ideas. I'd love to see what you do. Please post your images below so that we can all learn from one another and be inspired. And I'm just checking over here. Mary's here. Mary Zimini. Hello, Mary. Nice to see you. How are your feathered friends doing in the ice storm? I'm sure you've given them oatmeal this morning. Maybe with some berries. Oh, there's a lot of comments here. This is regular cardstock, Peggy is asking. And she also says photos aren't allowed. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Peggy. I haven't followed the conversation, but yes, you can use the blender pen on the regular cardstock. That's why the blender pens are so useful. I would post a photo. Okay, I'm sorry, I missed the thread of the conversation, so I'm not exactly sure what everybody's talking about, but I will read them in a few minutes, and I'll make the comments below. In the meantime, here's the website once again. I will also be posting some links below for how you can go to the online store and get some of the items that will help you to meet your amount to get some of these free items from the celebration brochure. And if you don't have a catalog yet and you want to take advantage of the celebration, all of those things are available online. You can look at the celebration brochure. You can also look at both the mini catalog and the annual catalog. Everything's online. It might be a little bit too late to try to mail something out to you at this point, and I wouldn't want you to be disappointed by getting your catalogs too late. So I would suggest that you look online for some of the items, and I will also put a supply list of everything I use today so that you'll be able to access those things as well. So stay well, stay happy, stay creative, have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you again on Marvelous Monday.